I'm starting to get tired. One more lecture in me, I think. I think I'm gonna blow this one up. But how about this? Voting districts? Or how about just districts for legislation? Okay, let's separate those two. But are they separate? Not really. Voting districts. Okay, so it's for equity? Is that like to say that California has a electoral college? Yeah. Yeah. So we have a mini electoral college where we haggle over the lines of voting districts. Okay. Does that make sense in economics? So are we voting for an economic zone? Because that's how it should be, right? What we should be voting for is, if we're going to have an electoral system, right? Okay, we have places that have high technology sectors, Silicon Valley and places, and then information systems located around the Bay Area, places like that, right? So those are high economic zones where a great deal of money is being made. Yeah. But then you have Southern California. True. A lot of firms in LA area. Then you have the entertainment industry out there. Those are all high economic zones. So if you draw up the lines to where all those economic zones, so you just draw a line around LA and parts of up north in Silicon Valley, do you get an equitable voting system? Well, those people, does it matter how they vote? No. Most likely they're going to vote Republican because they don't want to see their business moved out. So you'll have to pick up stakes and move to another state because of bad liberal policies towards economics, right? Everybody gets a vacation for whatever social justice concept of the week. Well, you know, you know, it's like forcing. They came up with a law that says now you have to have women in a large corporation. They have to be not just going through the ranks, learning the job and proving their worth. Now they just have to be directly in the boardroom. See, you get these qualified women, supposedly, and now they're directly placed in the boardroom without all those processes that corporations go through to get the best of the best. Social justice of the week, right? But then, regulations like, practically like some people say, why do we pay almost double the amount in gas? Who knows? It's just regulations. Where's all that money going to then? Where are we spending that money? If we're paying so much for roads, for paying so much for being taxed and regulated, you know, so many fees and rate hikes and bullshit like that, where is all that money going? And then we have a California lottery. You know, people are voluntarily putting their money into a lottery. You know, people like to gamble that way, and it benefits the state. Where's the money? Is it disappearing into, like, the X dimension? Where's it going? I think it's just, not going to blame illegals. That is a nice chunk of money that could be spent on feeding children, not just subsistence, but sustenance. You know, giving children food that nourishes their body and brain so they can pay attention in school, not letting children just suffer. So that's interesting. We're letting children suffer so that people can come here and circumvent hardworking people that have applied for visas. I mean, that is the reality of the situation. And somehow that's not illegal. You know, somehow, you know, people are just jumping right on that. You know, there's people like making excuses. You know, billions of dollars. You know, they like to make comparisons like that. Imagine if you spent all the money on Christmas. How many people could you feed? Oh, well, that's interesting. So how much does the state of California pay in services for illegals? Okay, so say they pay taxes too. Not all of them, right? But so what's the net? The net, we have a net loss, right, on that. So that's, you could say that's money that you just, you know, it's like taking a plate of food and say, hey kid, yeah, here's this plate of food that you could have had this morning, but you're not going to get it because we're going to politicize children and create an agenda. You know, it is politicizing children, you know. I even forgot what I was talking about and what the original subject was. That's fine. But I'm sure this is related. See, that's part of my memory problem. I know this is related, but I can't remember the fucking subject. Gosh. Okay. But yeah. It is the same as taking food right out of the mouths of babes. It really is. Ethically, you can't. You cannot discard this argument. You know, okay, it goes back to, okay, I'm going to digress. So it was back to the lottery. And then I was talking about, because where's the money going to? We have this money that's being generated. Okay, we have the money being generated. We have taxes out the yazoo, right? We have businesses that aren't maybe going to pull up stakes and leave the state. Okay, we have these concepts in government, inane concepts by liberals, and then Republicans are not as vocal as they should be. How many Republicans do we have in the legislature? You see them on television every day, holding press conferences, screaming, jumping up and down. agenda too, obviously. So obviously they don't really care. Just like the other side doesn't really care. Yeah. Caring equals action. So what is their action? So if liberals are fucking everything up, what's the actions of the Republicans? Are they just gonna sit there? Is that the action? Not say anything? Sit on their hands? Well, yeah, I guess so. Or maybe the media's just blocking all those press conferences, not covering them. Huh. I gotta check into that. Usually they would not ever do that. You know, prominent people come out and hold a press conference every week, every month. It's going to be covered. You know. So we see caring equals action. So you can't say that you care if you're not actually doing something. Ain't that a bitch? Son of a bitch. Yeah. So, I just completely fucked up my lecture. Because now I can't remember the primary article of this lecture. So, let's see here. Hold on. Got it. It was voting districts, right? So is there like rural areas that are underrepresented? And are we using an electoral college? No. So then why do we have voting districts? For very pissant reasons. Really. Really passant. De rigueur. Bourgeois. Dumb. Tonto. An old word, cavalera. But interesting. So, this idea is completely crap. Shouldn't be voting districts. Not really. It just should be California votes. Yeah. California all gets together and votes. Most of them vote Democrat. Hey, whatever. Whatever. Whatever it is, that regulation that feeds that idea, whether it's monetary or whatever, it just needs to go away. You know, if you're going to allow just, again, you know, completely people that are seem to be off their rocker come up with new rules for shit that doesn't really matter. You know, just throw out the system. But yeah, you know, the legislature. Is there a good way to do a legislature? You know, there's been concepts over the years. Lots of concepts. Every permutation has been thought of. Okay, the idea that you have cities, so you put the cities in a circuit, and that circuit is then attached to a district, right? And then through that, you have, you don't go any further than that. Really, you don't need to. The idea is when you put certain cities in a circuit, you create a panacea, a responsive, excuse me, I didn't mean to lick my lips. Okay, so you create a panacea of responsive government, and then that's put into districts, circuits into districts, like 6 of them at the most. Okay, and then the idea is you have 3 representatives, the Philosopher's Stone, So you have 3, you have a simple majority, 2 to 1, at all times, right? Because you vote yay or nay. So you're always going to have 2 people or 3 people voting yay or nay. That's how a simple majority works. And then what happens is legally, they all take an argument. Alright? One takes ethics, and then one takes the business cycle. Oh man, this is getting, I can't believe I forgot this. Okay, and then there's one that takes, I guess you could say the pressure. It's not sociology, it's the cycle. The cycle argument for business ethic. Right? So you have the ethics in business, and then you have all the good cycles that come from it. So one person argues what we call the standards and practices. One person argues the cycle, and then okay, I'm having a problem, but I think you got it. I just recorded it, so it's fine, right? So you have two to one, right? 2 to 1. And then if you want to actually pass something, a law, even if you have a simple majority, say if you get 51%, you still have a simple majority. Excuse me, yeah, okay. Well, that is a simple majority, 2 to 1. Okay, then you have 51%. Yeah, that's not a simple majority. That's really nothing. There's no legal argument for 51% passes a law. There's an argument for 68% and like 2/3, which is excuse me, I'm having a problem. Yeah, 66%, right? So 99.99, right? Well, okay, so 60. So, yeah, but it actually comes out to 68%. It really does. So, better would be like 70, I guess. But yeah, 68% is the clef for a simple majority. Now it's a grand majority, and then since you have three representatives from each district, it's 2-1, or all in favor. Right. The math does work out. The power of 3. Yeah, the triplicate government. Yeah. And see, then we just get rid of the governors. Hey, maybe there's a reason for a governor at the federal level. Executor. Is it really a necessity at the state level? No. No, states don't require an executor. States are small enough that the legislature, especially in the correct format, get all that done. So, the state's not changing, prime rates and, fiddling around with bond notes and treasury bonds and T-bills or whatever you want to call it. No. State could have a bond market. You could have a state bond market, to generate revenue for projects, and then when you pay that back, pay interest, so people will use it as an investment. Sure. Yeah, and then there's bond extraction, right? Which can be used for government pensions. Yeah, that's probably the best bet, but that's probably never going to happen. They say, well, we have the best country in the world, the best constitution ever. Yeah, that's true. We do have the best constitution. I've seen some constitutions that are very compelling in some areas that we seem to be having a problem with, that seem to be just gray areas that are not being dealt with correctly. Yeah. But overall, yeah, that's true. But there's much room for improvement. You just improve and improve and improve on the Constitution. And we don't have to leave it the way it is. That's why we have an amendment process. Hopefully someday we make an amendment where we just scrap that Constitution and write a new one. One that has, based on self-rule. It says, not self-evident. You can't say that. You can't say that we are endowed with the ability to make a decision and to be thoughtful, be pensive. Therefore, it's self-evident that we have sovereignty as a matter of self-rule. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Anyways, I'm tired. Thank you for watching.